Hi, this is Bob Barrett, Shannon's father. We're driving around in between fields, and I asked a question when they're prospecting ground, what do they look at? And he had some very interesting information I'd love to share with you. So, Bob, if you'd kind of enlighten us on how do you look at the ground?
Well, this is, they say it's looking at the ground, and when you first, there's a, this Narran-Warrnambool Reserve extends over about 40, 50 mile long, 10, 15 to 20 mile wide in places. So you drive over and you do a visual appraisal. And in your visual appraisal, you take into account, it's all on this red ground, but they say it's a ground look. But this is what we're looking for, is these trees. And if you get here, these green poplar boxes with a light green leaf, you see there's a smaller one here, a bigger one in the background. This small one here would only be a young tree, but those big trees indicate that there's a fault line there. And there's a line that you'll see. After a while you get to know these things. There's a line of timber, and as you come around here, you'll see this other different tree, which is an iron bark. See the one just beyond the little trees here, with a real black trunk and greyer type leaves. Now they're an iron bark, and they indicate that just below the surface is a really, really thick cap of silkrete, which is very, very hard to drill. They always believe that it was there was no opal under them. There is opal under them, but the one thing about them is it's hard to get to. But the best thing about them is that they indicate a change in the country. Because where you get that real thick, hard silkrete cap, there's another old paleo channel just away from that. This is virtually the older stuff. This has been laid down, taken away and refilled. And that's what we look for. They're the lines that we look for. You get a line of box trees there, and that line of iron barks that runs right through. If we were driving down the main road into the bitumen road into Lightning Ridge, you'd still pick up that same line. That'll run for probably 3 or 4 mile that way and probably 8 or 10 mile that way.
Technology is wonderful, but you can see that miners survive by their wits and their knowledge.
And you've got to know the country as well. Like, you've got to be in the country, know where it forms. The other thing that we find a fair bit is opal. As these ridges drop away, they go from about 200 metres to the north of here, right on the Queensland border, down to only 100 metres. So they lose 100 metres in that 40, 50 mile that I'm talking about of height. And as they come down, these things cross them, these lines cross them, and they're all breaks and they're all indication of something. And we like to follow them because a lot of times in those things you will dig up trace and just as likely get opal.
And find the opal we love.
And the opal's the name of the game.
The name of the game is finding the opal. Thank you, Bob.